Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Lovely to be here together with Paul Luftenegger
Yes, and Simone. Do you say Anliker or Anliker?
and Anliker.
Anliker. And my last name is Luftenegger, so last names are always interesting.
I probably pronounce it the way the German would do because it seems to sounds really German-like your last
Yeah.
name.
It is. It's like Schwarzenegger, like Luftenegger. I know I always tell people have called me everything, but I always say like Schwarzenegger, and people seem to get it. Yeah. So, anyways, why don't I just start with sharing just sort of how this happened and how this came to be, just to give a little bit of nuance. So, the first thing is I want to thank everyone for coming. I'm in Canada, Simone's in Switzerland. So, I just wanted to share sort of the how this happened. So, I was invited to sing essentially a number of years ago in Spain and Alicante in Spain, and it's for the ETTG, or the European Transformational Teachers Gathering, which is by Steiner. And Steiner is an incredible light, just basically expanding for transformational teachers to hold space. And so I was invited. I think it was maybe 4 or 5 days before the event, and I knew in my heart I had to go, and I always follow my heart. So I flew over to Spain very fast and arranged everything. And then I met Simone at that event. And I have to tell you, I met a number of people that are in our global communities. But what I see happening, and I have for the last 9 years doing this publicly, and I'm sure you can attest to that as well, is that hearts are connecting all over the world. And this is sort of our superpower, I think, that we have within each of us. We're all very important people. We're all very important souls and very important hearts. And when we follow our heart, it leads to others that follow their heart. And then that expands love. And I've seen this sort of happening, in my own life and in the other world that seems to be going on that many people don't know about. And I think it's really cool because I met you that way. And I've met everyone really that way. If you're watching this, I've met you because we follow our hearts. That's really, I think, if you really simplify things, that's really the truth of what happens. So I just wanted to speak to that first. And Simone, you can just maybe share sort of your experience of meeting me.
Yes, actually, I heard about you the first time was through your music at Anita Morjani event.
Oh, see, okay, before that then.
And I heard of her a couple of years ago, was so deeply touched by her first book, also her second book. And then I wanted to meet her. And she was playing the song, Put Your Hand on Yourself. I don't know the title, but it's
My heart,
about
my heart.
my heart.
Yeah.
And somehow I followed you on Facebook. And one day, a guy or just someone like named Paul Luftenegger was sending me a friend request, and I said, it can't be possibly Paul, but I was sharing your music again. And then also I had this, normally I'm very picky with people. So
Mhm.
it's kind of, I had a sense of, okay, no, just trust this one. And that's how we connected on Facebook. And then we had, it's maybe 3 or 4 years ago, we did have a Skype call, and it was immediately how we connected. And it was, I followed waking up in the morning, I followed an inspiration. You have to ask Paul. And it was actually planned for like a big festival on the
Oh,
global diet meditation
yeah.
in 2020. And for some reason, I mean, now we know why it didn't work out, but for some reason last year, I decided to let go of it. Didn't feel good because I was asking you to join everything. So it didn't feel good. But now, I mean, we wouldn't have been able to do it anyhow. So
Yes.
it was just really just following these impulses and trusting the intuition, and then act on it. This is, I mean, that's why we're here anyhow. There was another inspiration I got recently, maybe 2 months ago. Ask Paul, let's do this together. And voila, now we're here. So it's just
So this is really cool. So what I wanted to sort of just say to sort of preface into this is that that, you know, I think that everybody's being sort of, let's just say, in a unique space this year. And I think that everything is divinely aligned. I think it's Einstein, I'll paraphrase. He used to say that God works in synchronicities. And I know that there's no mistake in us being here in this particular moment at this exact time in this timeline. And I feel like, you know, you can make all the plans you like, but if it doesn't flow for whatever reason, you just have to surrender to that. And that's kind of how that happened with that invitation that we had started to talk about, I think 2 years ago, to do that global dyad meditation. So I think it's really important to note that I always love the month of November. I feel like it's sort of that magical alignment. And I released actually my Love Expanding Love album on actually the November the 11th, so the 11/11 in 2014. And I've specifically chosen this with Simone to choose this on to fall on that 11th window, our offering. So we're going to be doing a 3-day online, essentially gathering and a container holding for what Simone offers and is very good at doing is actually the dyad meditation. She'll speak to that, but I want to sort of share what I'll be bringing to the table first, maybe, and then Simone can maybe go into the dyad part. I will say I am new to dyad, so I like this because I'm going to be learning as we do this together. I think I've done, you know, something similar within my work with dyad, and dyad meditation is simply two people coming together. So dyad means two. So I love that this is I had this epiphany today because I think that when we come together with our hearts, we allow essentially source or universal energy, universal love to flow through us. And I love this because it's an honoring of two hearts, two souls that allow this stream to come through in peace. So Simone will speak to that. I'm going to actually be sharing sort of some different tools that I have in my toolbox as well. And some of those things are, I just became a certified Heal Your Life teacher. And I'm very proud of this because Louise Hay is one of the best healing, I would say healing teachers in her work because she started this in 1970 ultimately, and then into the 80s. And it's been tried, tested, and true around the world for a very long time. I love Louise Hay's work. It's so concentrated and it just gets right down to the basics. So I'll be sharing a few of those things that I want to sort of incorporate. The other part of this that I'll be offering is my music. So my music, and I want to speak to sort of, I believe that there's sort of two components to healing. And I've sort of thought a lot about this morning and reflected and meditated on this. And the one thing that I want to speak to and share in this particular 3-day retreat is I want to make sure that we have an understanding of healing our heart first, and then moving into actually the joy part after that. So I sort of want to break this up into love and joy, and then that complete healing that can happen between those two frequencies. And I really want to speak to frequency and vibration, and I want to speak to source and that way that you bring in source. So I'm going to be doing some meditative sort of explanations of what worked for me in that way. I'll be doing some meditations, some guided meditations with those that join us. And I'm going to just leave it at that right now, not to over complicate things. And then I'll let Simone speak to sort of her offering now. So go ahead, Simone.
Thank you very much. And what I just reminded myself of, I had kind of a download recently about this vibrational piece and also coming together in and all around the healing, that in this area, healing actually happens through vibration. That's why I so much love to get together with you, Paul, because you're coming from that inspirational vibrational music, healing the whole body, healing the heart. And as you said, the dyad as two people coming together, it's an old practice. It was developed by Charles Berner, and it's still known under the Enlightenment Intensive, and it evolved. So what I'm offering is the global dyad meditation, which I learned from my friend and teacher, Robert Gonzalez, through the way of the nonviolent communication and combining it. And so 3 years ago, I had, or 4 years ago, it's now, I had this inspiration to make this globally online available. And I was so clear at the time, it's a gift of heaven. And I still see it. I'm still uncovering the depths of why we got this meditation afresh. And I did write a book on it. It was a plan, and it's called the Power of Diet Meditation, the new way of meditating in times of loneliness and social stress. And isn't I mean, when I chose the title, there was nothing about COVID or anything like this. And now, what's happening right now, we're all kind of in lockdown. A lot of people are at home by themselves, and there's so many different polarities and opinions. And I'm so clear that the way how the diet meditation is done is two people facing each other. There will be 1 to 4 questions. For example, like this morning, we were working on opening to presence. What's arising in you? And when we just tuned in for our life, I was there and I just open up to presence. And that's what I heard you talk about yesterday, Paul, about opening the channel, let the divine energy come in and open our hearts, and then find ways to overcome this opinion, this point of views, this it has to be like this and has to be, and then really connect on a soul level. Because I'm absolutely clear, we are in this together worldwide, and we're asked to be soul companions to each other, to support each other, to reconnect, to be there with each other, and to find our own answers. It's not about someone telling me it has to be like this, but the diet helps me in the presence of someone else to really find my own answers. And I always said, years ago, I said, it's about becoming my own guru, my own inner teacher, listening to my own inner teacher. And that's why I so much love our combination. And I'm really looking forward to these 3 days. Maybe you want to speak just a little bit, Paul, about the number of three. It's also the power of three, because it's 3 days and we meet for 3 hours per day.
Okay, so the first thing I just want to just touch on before I do that is just on what you had just shared about, in particular, I think ultimately the times that we're in, and I know that this is again, I have sort of this I have visions. I had a vision this morning in my meditation and working out. I sometimes get visions when I work out, which is why I wanted to work out before we came on. But I was having this understanding of just the importance right now of really giving praise to ourself as our guru and our own guru. Now, I want to sort of speak to the guru sort of aspect just quickly, because this is something that I think is very important to get clean and clear on between us. I am not your guru. Simone is not your guru. Many people claim to be gurus in this world right now. For me, I'm not interested in any of that. I'm interested in giving that power back to every single soul to be the guru of itself. And this is the cornerstone, I believe, of the time that we're moving into, where co-creation starts to bloom. So I really wanted to just touch on the fact that, we are here to honor you in the guru that you are for this particular event. Simone, I might just ask you to hit mute on your, just hit mute. So I just think that way there won't be any feedback. So the thing that I just want to sort of say in the number that we've chosen this for 3 days because I believe that, ultimately we are each a container. And when we bring in this divine code or this divine frequency, it nourishes our body. So just like a cup or a chalice, I like to see us filling this cup up in our heart and it overflowing into our body and then radiating that energy out. So this is the flow that I really love. And I also love, from the joy perspective, I also love the heart being the core, but then also to the root chakra area, also firing up back to source. So this sort of like this exchange is how I see it. So prayer and meditation is sort of this two-way street to what I would say is source, God, universe, whatever word you like, even if you don't have a word for that. Divine consciousness works, but it doesn't really matter what you call that, it's presence. And this presence that's there for us is always omnipresent, waiting for us to acknowledge it, and it acknowledges us. And when we do this, it's divine love in flow. So I'm going to be sharing sort of some aspects of that. In the 3 days, I think what's really beautiful is this gives us some time to interact. I do want to sort of speak to what Simone used to do. You know, we all have sort of our old life in a way. And I just know that Simone ultimately, you know, was in the legal field. I will say a past lawyer, a past sort of someone that just focused on law. And she said in particular to just say that, you know, you have your legal, you know, I guess, is it doctorate or do you have, like, what would you say, the master's? Master's, yeah, it's okay.
A master's degree, yes.
Master's degree. So that being said, I love that because I think that we all have these older sort of parts of us that were there for us to serve to get to this point. We all have these, you know, these pasts that I think are leading into the present. And I know for me, I used to work in the corporate world. I still have, you know, I own business, a few businesses actually. So I don't really speak to that very often, but I'm happy to share some of that with people about prosperity and being you know able to be multidimensional in our lives with our work. So I you know have a very different life in that way. So I have a few different things that I do. I haven't really talked about that publicly, but I will share some of that in this time together. And this is a time for interacting. So it will give you a chance to sort of be open and who you are with us and us with you. And it will be a shared sort of exchange of, I think, just ultimately whatever's meant to flow. And I love that sort of opportunity as a container to be together. And what I love is I'm in Canada, you could be in Australia, you could be in Europe, you could be in Africa, and we can still come together this way. And there's an energy between us that's timeless. And when we connect in that way, it's so beautiful when you're in your home to connect that way. And I've done a lot of this since COVID started. And I believe that we're sort of learning new ways to sort of tap into that inner space together, even though we're not physically able to be together, because we could never sort of be global and in one space except for online right now. So this is sort of like this new opportunity to flex a metaphysical muscle that we all have in our telepathy, and that's in that heart space. So I'm going to share some of my feelings about some of those things. And the 3 days, you know, 33 is a master number. And I feel like there's so many signs in the Holy Trinity. So where two gather, there's also then that divine presence that's energetically sort of supporting and nourishing us in our lives. So that Holy Trinity will be sort of that master that's going to really ultimately be the guru that you are for you. And guru means teacher, so you're your own teacher. And I live by this principle. So that's what I wanted to say to that. And Simone, do you have anything else that you wanted to touch on?
Yes, I'd like to just one part. So those people who are completely new to the diet meditation, don't worry. There will be actually there is on upcoming Monday. So we start on Tuesday. So on Monday there will be another free intro. So I will post the link for you to sign up for the intro if you're interested. So it's going to be an hour and 15 minutes. And if you're interested, it's a very good timing for the people in United States and Canada, because it's in your daytime hours. It won't be a bit middle of the night for people in Bali. Last time I had a beautiful soul even joining in from Bali at 2 o'clock in the morning. So it's I mean, we don't ask you to do that, but if you're interested, you can join this one. So there will be an intro. I will post this. So, and then, yes, I will post all the information. If you're interested, please sign up. As Paul said, it's a beautiful opportunity to just to meet each other as human beings. And the quote of Marianne Williamson just came to me: "Heaven is entered two by two." So I
Yeah.
really, really like that.
I love that. Can I just say one thing? So in just to touch base on this, just to make this really simple, I will share the link that you put up on my Facebook wall so that people have the access to sort of do a pre-free, basically that diet meditation sort of I would say 101 to take you into that understanding. You don't have to do that either. If you don't do that, it's fine. But the price, and we've made this really easy. So we want you to come, we want you to be there, and we've made it available to you for whatever you can technically pay. The suggested price of the whole 3 days, that is 99 euros, I believe.
Yeah.
And then I think that there's a link that Simone will give, and there just gives some options for some different pay structures. If you feel like you can't afford the full 99 euros, by all means, we want you there. And if you can't afford something for whatever reason, come anyways. But if, we believe in the integrity of you to choose that. And if you feel like it's not a problem to pay the 99 euros, I would ask that you do that because that supports us doing this in our time. And I also think that when you put something of value into something that's valuable, I know that that is received back to you. So that's how we've structured this. And it's sort of a new way that we're sort of looking at doing these sorts of events, because I don't want anyone to feel like they can't come. And I know Simone feels the same way.
Absolutely.
So I will also put this link on my Facebook page as well as my online, I guess, what do you call it? My intranet. So my website. And that would be bekindness.com. So you could go, I will do this today, but I'll put this link up for this today, and it will be bekindness.com. So BEE kindness.com. And Simone, do you have your website? Just maybe give that just out loud.
Yes, so people to sign up is it's the www.globaldietmeditation.org. So there is a little video, and then you can just sign in. Then you receive an invitation video also to the for the introduction. Then you're in the system, and once you have been at the introduction, if you choose to, as Paul said, it's not necessary for this event, but if you choose so, it's always for free. It's on a daily basis. So you just then receive the invitation on a daily basis and meet people from all over the planet. So we have people from Canada till New Zealand. So it's kind of it really became a global community, which I just offer for free for people who like to connect and to join. And
That's
yes.
wonderful. And so what we'll do is we'll have the links up on our Facebook walls. And again, just to give to the date, so it's going to be November the 10th, 11th, and 12th, which is next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And we set it up in the middle of the week, and it's going to run. Simone, just go through the times maybe as well.
Yes, it's Eastern time from noon to 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
So 12 at lunchtime until 3 p.m.
Exactly. And
Eastern.
it will be in Europe. Zurich time it will be 6 to 9 p.m. And accordingly, it would be West Coast, it would be 9 a.m. to 12 at noon.
Yeah,
Um,
we made it sort of that way so anyone could come in that way. And if for some reason you can only come for one day, we've kind of said by all means feel free to drop in for one day. If that's, we'll make it just sort of like a day by day event as well, so that you can, just have some time together with us and share and let flow whatever's meant to flow. Yeah.
Great. I'm so much looking forward to us and to everyone who is joining us in this heart connecting adventure and
Absolutely.
really connecting on all levels. So that's really beautiful. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yes, and they'll also, I didn't mention this, but I will be actually sharing some of my music as well. I didn't sort of go into that, but I'm going to be focusing on, in particular, the miracle of you. I really want to honor the miracle of those that are gathering, the soul, and that includes the miracle of me, the miracle of Simone, because ultimately we're miracles and our soul is so powerful. And I really want to make sure that we're powerful right now. So this is a really important strengthening opportunity for your soul to connect with, I think, ultimately people that genuinely care about this planet from our heart and from our soul. And I know that there is so much strength when we do that together. So that is really my intention ultimately, is strengthening, my own soul, strengthening my own heart, and also making sure that we strengthen each other's hearts and souls right now, especially going into the Christmas season to end this year. So that's sort of my last little piece to just sort of put out there. So we'll leave it at that. We don't want to take too much of your time, and thank you so much for taking time.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. See you on
Yes,
the 10th, 11th, and 12th.
of
Bye bye.
November. Yeah. Okay. Bye, everyone.